How to categorize receipts for taxes for your small business. Today we're going to talk about how to categorize your receipts for your taxes for your small business. It's so important that you keep your receipts. It's even more important that you know how to properly categorize them. My name is Nicole. I'm one of the tax advisors here at Robert Hall, and we're going to break it down about categorizing the receipts, your expenses for your small businesses to help you with your taxes. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more wonderful content like this. Let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing about categorizing your receipts for your small business is, what do you use? Do you use an Excel? Do you use an online program? Do you use paper and pen? Don't use paper and pen. You can use paper and pen, but there are so many online tools out there. There's QuickBooks, Quicken, there's many different things to use. You should use whatever is most comfortable for you. Whatever is easiest for you to log into and do on a regular basis. I believe in an online tool. I believe something up in the cloud is going to make your life so much easier so you have access to it wherever you are. That means your phone, on your computer. If your laptop breaks, you can just pop into wherever to get it. If a friend sends you an invoice and you want to just quickly download or upload the receipt, you can log in somewhere easy. This is when it's in a cloud. If it's something that's localized to a specific computer, it's a little bit more difficult. Less people have access to it. It's just a little bit more limiting. If you, for example, if you have QuickBooks and you have the desktop version, QuickBooks itself offers a service that helps you convert desktop to online to help make things a little bit easier, because I understand they're different formats, and so that could be a little like of an undertaking, but they help you to convert it, because eventually everything's going to live in the cloud. Okay, but let's talk about which one of these online tools is going to work best for you. One, we've already talked about how you need to be able to have access to it. Two, you need to be able to use it, something that you're comfortable with. We need you to be familiar and so that you can log on to this easily. It's not a difficult task, but it is something that you need to do regularly. You should be reconciling your books once a month, I would say. And that is just so that you, one, have a great understanding of what your numbers are. You should know your numbers. You should know how much expenses you're spending. And if you are running a clothing company and you're spending $30,000 on marketing and normally you spend $5,000, you should understand that you had a month that the marketing went up significantly, and you should be able to understand why. That can't be something that comes to you as a surprise at the end of the year. So reconciling your books is very, very important, and you should be doing that at least once a month. Another thing is just simplicity. It's not hard to categorize your expenses and your receipts if you're doing it on a regular basis. It is a daunting task if you're doing it once a year, because do you remember what transaction that was? Because sometimes the transactions are a little difficult. Now, the beauty of using an online tool is they link to your bank account. And so we have a small business. Your small business, regardless of the structure, should have its own bank account. That's just going to be for the ease of the accounting. It's also going to be an ease of helping people not be able to pierce your corporate veil. And also, if there's other issues that come up in the past, it's just clearer for things. And so it has its own bank account. And if you want to use a credit card, no problem. It should have its own credit card. It should have its own savings account, all that kind of stuff. You have this account, you connect it to whatever online tool you have or you're using. They will be able to import the transactions for you, and then you just simply go ahead and attach a label to these transactions. You say the ARCO transaction for 58 was for auto, was for gas, or whatever it may be. The Uber cost was for transportation. The Zelle payment to Charles was for marketing. You're going to go through and categorize those things. And if we're doing this monthly, it's quite easy for you to remember exactly what those things were. I don't remember every time I Zelle Tom, Dick, or Harry what it's for, but I do remember when it's recent, Sometimes it might be for lunch, and then sometimes I might be actually paying them for something. And so it's really important that you're reconciling that so you don't miss or miss something or miscategorize something. You want to make sure we get it all there. So online tools are great for a couple of reasons. Again, it's good for ease, it's good for convenience, just being able to access it somewhere, and it's also good for being able to reconcile things quite often. You can do it quite often. And lastly, I would say an online tool is just going to save you some time because your transactions are already imported. And so if you want to go back to find a transaction, you can easily go back and see what check number this is and click inside the tool. So you'll have greater visibility about things later in, like when you're reconciling at the end of the year or you're doing your taxes. You can dive deep into something as opposed to not knowing. Okay, let's talk about the categories. The categories that you're putting things into. These categories could be really whatever you want. The names of the categories aren't super specific. You've got simple things: marketing, advertising, outside services, travel, meals. One thing that you need to understand about the categories is even if those categories aren't there, you can create your own kind of category. You want your categories to be general, but not too general. Like, it's all about what it is used for. When you're thinking of the category name or the title, what is the purpose? What is the business reason to have it? And that business reason needs to be deductible. So we don't want a category like entertainment. Like, if you are doing an event for your clients, the reason you're doing this event for your clients is so that you can drum up more business. That's marketing, right? But the event, you're holding it at Dodger Stadium and you bought Dodger tickets. If you just look at it as just Dodger tickets, you're going to say, like, that's entertainment. Entertainment's not deductible, but is this actually a deductible event? Yes, it is, because it's a marketing event, as long as you're using it for business reasons, right? And so you have this marketing event, and so it should be categorized exactly as it is used for marketing. And so you want to be very careful to make sure that the categories you're using are for things that are deductible, because later in life, if we're having to prove something or show something to the IRS or whatever state agency, you're going to show them your P&Ls. You're going to show them these categories. And if you've already miscategorized something and mislabeled something to be a category that's not deductible, they're not going to go into it anymore. They're going to say, you say that it's a non-deductible expense. We believe you. So why are you trying to take it as a deduction? Like, they're going to just go off of what you say. Now, is your P&L going to be enough for you if you're getting audited or something like that? It's not enough, but it is going to help minimize where they're looking for things. And so you want your categories to be specific. You want your categories to show that you are understanding how this is used for your business. And remember, deductions are ordinary and necessary. And so we don't want crazy categories coming out here. We need ordinary and necessary deductions. And I know a lot of people think their business is brand new and there's not many businesses out there in this world. And I see this a lot of times with like influencers going, well, this is a new industry. It's not. I mean, it is, but it's not in the tax world. All new industries are kind of another industry with a little twist. And so influencers, for example, is really the same as people in the entertainment industry. It's not much different than them, or models. And so you need to remember that you're not one in a million. And if you are one in a million, that's bad. We want to blend in when we're talking about taxes. And so let's keep our categories simple, specific enough that we're showing how it's used for business, but not as detailed that it's like only applies to our specific business. Like, no, ordinary and necessary. Okay, so when we're categorizing our expenses, we need to pay attention to what's the purpose of these categories and what is the purpose of the expense. And so you have to go back and remember the 5 W's that you learned in elementary school: who, what, when, where, and why. Let's throw away the who. Nobody really cares who you paid. We care about what was it, why did you do it, where was it, and let's add the how. We care about how because we want to understand if it was paid out in cash, which, please, for the love of God, try not to do that. Or if it was paid out like via your business credit card or your business account. And if it was on the personal, we're going to have some issues, but we need to make sure that we've reconciled it so that if you paid it on the personal side, you paid yourself back, or I don't know how you did it. But we need to make sure that we're having all of our business expenses coming out of the business account so we understand the how is really, really easy and it's pretty much done for us. But maybe it was a Zelle payment, maybe it was a check, etc. Now, when you're keeping your receipts, that's what we need to make sure we're showing. You need to be able to look at a receipt and go, oh, I know why I have this transaction. I know where this transaction, and the receipt usually identifies that pretty clearly for you, like it has the address. Why, you might maybe even need to write in by hand or put some notes in the transaction area so that you understand why. But the category can tell you why as well. But if you need to be a little bit more specific because it's for this event or, for, I don't know, this project, etc., go ahead, be specific. The when is obviously going to be on the receipt as well, or it's also going to be at the transaction date so we know which year, what month it happened at, and the where. I think I already spoke about the where, but the where again on the receipt. So most of this is going to be done with receipts. It's really important that you know that bank statements technically are not sufficient proof for an audit. An auditor is not generally going to allow bank statements as proof. You will need another means to back up something, especially if it's very contentious. And so, one, keeping a log, that can help. Keeping receipts, that can help. Again, online tools are great for keeping receipts. Take a picture and just have files that you keep of every month of receipts in it so that you can go click, click, and upload to your Dropbox or to your QuickBooks account or wherever so that you're able to have things backed up in addition to the way you're categorizing them. This is one of the reasons that cash is not a great. Like, I can't remember why or where or when I pulled out cash. I mean, I guess you could figure out when by looking at the transaction, but why? I don't remember that. Or where? It just says ATM. Like, where did I spend that money? So cash is not a great idea for bank transactions. All right, so those are the 3 main things that we need to really focus on when we're talking about how to categorize our receipts for taxes for our small business. If you have any questions or you would love a free consultation with me or any of my colleagues, please go to our website, roberthalltaxes.com, or click on the link below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more wonderful content like this. Bye!